What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Fidens Brewing Company, and they are out of Albany, New York, and this is their Calla Lily. So this is a double IPA, and on the side of the label where they typically list the hop bill, it just says experimental. It comes in at 8.4% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. And this can is approximately 3.5 weeks old. And I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a fellow BeerTuber, Kyle, over at No Hype Beer Reviews for this beer. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to Kyle's channel. And I say it in every single review, but, well, every single review that of a beer that Kyle has given or sent my way. But he's a fantastic person with just an incredible channel. Go over there, check it out. I think you'll like what you see. Now, he hooked me up recently when we met up with 7 beers from Fidens, 6 of which I am reviewing, and this is one of the 6. And yeah, this is exciting for a couple different reasons. Number one, never had it before, but number two, it just says experimental. So on Instagram and both on tap, they say this is an all Simcoe hopped beer, and that excites me. You don't see many just Simcoe hopped beers, whether they're hazies or West Coast or just old school American IPA. So I'm excited about it, assuming that that is the case with this one. I have no idea. You would think they would just say all Simcoe on the side. It says experimental. Maybe this is a different version where there is no Simcoe. I have no idea. We're going to find out. Let's crack it open. Get in the glass. Now, I would have used my Fidens glass for hashtag proper glassware, but I don't want to use it in every single review of the Fidens beer, so I'm just using my big oversized stemless wine glass that I can fit the vast majority of this beer into. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one for sure. As you see, I was able to fit the entire thing in and still be able to get my nose in there. I think these are 18-ounce glasses, so it works perfectly, no doubt. So what does that look like? Well, it looks like Fidens juice, looks like a lot of other, looks very akin to like the Root and Branch I've been reviewing lately, where it has that like dark, deeper, murky orange color. Has about a finger of an off-white, creamy colored, or creamy looking head. Definitely an off-white color though. Murky turbid, hold it up to light, can't see through it. Plays the role. Let's get a nose. Yeah, so that's Simcoe. That's Simcoe all day. Now, I don't know if there's Simcoe in here, but it smells like Simcoe. It has that cattiness that I think like some folks say like ammonia. For me, it's just like this really dank quality. And with Simcoe specifically, I get a lot of peach. So this, to me, in the nose is dank peach. That's exactly, or dank, we'll just say dank stone fruit. You could say peach, apricot, nectarine, mango. There's a little bit of like this floral kind of aroma as well. Like a resinous, piney floral. Wow, this nose is very akin to the Noble Savages that I've been reviewing recently, where it says real ranky dank, green onion, aka scallion, garlic, green pepper, bell pepper, things of that nature. This has that real green kind of quality, but not hot burn. It's just green. And again, it's more of like that ranky dank stone fruit. That's about it. Yeah, there's not much more to say about it. That's just ranky dank stone fruit. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Kyle. So the taste falls a little bit flat from the nose. It's still nice. Don't get me wrong. Really nice beer. Just falls flat from the nose. The nose was like, again, ranky dank stone fruit. That's what it was. You could tell this was like Simcoe-esque. Very reminiscent of those Noble Savage beers. But then the taste is very mild and subdued and kind of drawn back a little bit. Still nice. It's just that nose was... Whew. Man, this is thick. It's big. It's viscous. This is full-bodied for an 8.4% double IPA. It's probably more like medium full as a whole, or maybe like, yeah, I'd say like medium full. But man, it really coats the palate. The mouthfeel is soft, smooth, and creamy. Has a mild to moderate carbonation, softer than anticipated. Still smooth on the palate and quite creamy. The glass lacing, most of the Fidens beers have been awesome with that. Yeah, the taste was a bit more intense and aroma. The aroma was so simplistic, but right in my wheelhouse. And then the taste is all of that, but just like dialed down like 25, 30%. It's front to back stone fruit. It really is. It's peach. For me, it's peach apricot. You could throw in a mango in there. There's a little underlying like citrus kind of note. I would say more of like a say like a ruby red grapefruit, a little bit of a sweeter, not as tart and like bitter grapefruit. A little bit of orange, like a dollop of orange juice. You could say some other like tropical fruits, like maybe stretching for like a pineapple. Maybe a touch of like a passion fruit. But for me, it's really stone fruit heavy. And then the finish is just, again, that ranky-dank kind of finish. To me, it has this floral, like this dank floral pine, like pine, almost like a pine, I don't want to say pine sap, but a resiny pine finish. It's not quite into that like garlic and, scallion stratosphere where it's like, oh man, that's like really, but it's approaching that. This is semi to full on dry with a nice mild to moderate bitterness. This beer is not too sweet, it's not too bitter, not too dry, quite balanced from that aspect. I would say the nose was like 4.75. Like the nose was just awesome. So one of the more simplistic noses that just hit me in the feels. I'm like, oh, this is what Simcoe is. And again, I have no idea if this is a different thing. That maybe there is no Simcoe in here, but it really does scream Simcoe to me. If there isn't Simcoe and there's other things in here as well, or maybe this is, again, experimental, so they change up the hops or something. Because I think this used to be called, I think this was another one of those beers where it was in their Socratic questioning series. I think it was like in the high 20s. I forget exactly what it was. But then they turned it into, kind of like Treehouse did with, I forget the name of their like experimental series, and then they turned it into a beer, a lot of them into different beers. The same thing here they've done with a couple, and this turns into its own beer. This is good, but not, this is very good, but not great. Like, the nose was great. The nose was the nose was world class. Like, for what I'm expecting out of this beer, yeah. The taste, not as much. I do get, also, this is one of the few Fidens beers where, there's a huge warming in my chest. Very warm going down. It's not on fire, but it's a big warming. There is no stringency on the palate, but I can tell this is a double IPA without question. So it doesn't hide the alcohol that well. It's kind of appropriate, I think, for the 8.4% ABV. This is a very good, but not great double IPA. The nose, man, and this happens from time to time where I talk about like the nose setting me up for disappointment. That's what happened here. One more sip and then we'll lock something in. Yeah, I'm almost getting a slightly tart acidic vibe on the back that reminds me of blood orange. I don't know what that's about. Here's the issue I have with this beer is that the nose was so great that probably anything that wasn't as good as the nose was going to disappoint me. But this is, like, you took everything in the nose and just dialed it back to even maybe like 50% at this point. The flavors are here in the taste for sure. They're just way more subdued and subtle and nuanced than it was in the taste. And, that happens from time to time. I still think this is a very good hazy double IPA, New England Double IPA, whatever you want to call it. A fun beer at the very least. So I'm going to rate it as so. So Calla Lily from Fidens, I'm going to give it a low 4.25 and go 4.15. I think that's a fair representation of this beer and what I'm tasting as a whole. If you have had this beer before, when it used to be Socratic questioning, let me know, is there any difference in that? Probably very similar. Do they do different batches of this? Different, hops or whatnot? Is there Simcoe in here? Is there not? I have no idea. I just went based on what I saw on Untapped and Instagram. What they say on the label is just experimental, which is very generic. So yeah, 4.15 out of 5. Price point availability, like most of their single IPAs and double IPAs, $5.75 a can, so $23 a 4-pack. Would I pay that again for this? I probably would not. Although I would like to try another batch of this just to see if it's very similar. For almost $6 a can, I can get beers that I've enjoyed way more than this. But that's not to say that the value is bad. If you can pick up some Fidens and this is available, give it a go. See what you think. You might love it. You might not. Who knows? And availability is Fidens. You got to get it at the brewery. You might find some on the secondary market or trade with somebody. They get, once in a while here in Buffalo, New York, we'll have a bottle shop or beer store go down to Fidens, pick some up, bring it back. But I haven't seen that since the summer of this past year. So it's been about 6 months, over 6 months actually, since I've seen any in my area. Some other cities get them occasionally as well. But for the most part, you got to get them at the brewery. So yeah, this was really nice. I enjoyed it. It's just, when you're comparing Fidens to other Fidens and then other hype breweries, it's like, you got to give it an appropriate rating based on what you're tasting, but also how it compares. And I think a 4.15 is a damn fine score. It's really good. It's just, is probably on the lower end of the spectrum of the Fidens beers that I've had probably over the past year. And that's saying a lot because they usually hit the nail on the head and knock it out of the park. This one, just a little bit, I don't know. It's just, I wish that if the flavor was more intense like the nose was, this would be easily into the 4 or 5 range, 100%. I would, a quarter point to almost like maybe a third of a point. So I'd bump this up to like a 4.4 to 4.5 without question. But, you know, you got to call a spade and got to be honest. And a 4.15 still a nice score. It's just not blowing me away or setting itself apart from so many other double IPAs in this realm. So huge thanks to Kyle for this one, though. It was a lot of fun to try. If you've had this one before, again, whether it was a Socratic questioning, 20, whatever, or this beer specifically, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. I think it's a damn fine beer, and I'm going to go drink the rest of it and enjoy the rest of my evening. So thanks, Kyle. Thanks, everybody. To the next one. Cheers.